Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram Aru Rukshor Muner Yogam Karma Karanamuchyate Yoga Rudhasya Tasyaiva Shamah Karanamuchyate. It's an interesting verse, an important verse, and also the language of the verse has to be carefully understood. Karanam is not something like cause and effect. In a way it is karanam, cause, but it really means the means. Karma sadhana muchyate. Karma is the means. Okay? So you know these things, means and the goal. The means and the end. That is the language. Okay? Here karanam is the means. Then what is the end? Yoga is the end. Okay? Yoga is not doing Shirshasana and all that. That is another kind of yoga, very preliminary yoga. But in Gita, yoga means realization. That is yoga. So now yoga is like a summit. In this verse, yoga is compared with a summit. Like you want to go up the summit or not? That is the question. Suppose you don't want to go up the summit, God bless you, you are not for this verse. Okay? So here, Aru Ruksho, the one who wants to go up the summit, who wants to climb the summit. Aroha is climbing. Like there are people in the world, they want to climb the mountain peaks. Nowadays it is entertainment and maybe some kind of a physical challenge that people want to take up and face it and do it. And in India, in the Indian context, it is entirely religious or spiritual. Like in India, they go up the mountain peak not for some entertainment or pilgrimage, some pleasure or tourism, not for that reason, but they go up the summit to have the darshan of Bhagavan. That in India the religion is the mainstream, and so all the temples are made on the summits. Suppose you have to go to Ayyappa temple in Kerala, you have to walk nearly for 5 hours up the summit and reach the peak, and there the temple is there. And that is the, now do you want to do it or not? That is the question. In the case of Ayyappa temple, you have to carry a load on your head, mudi, iru mudi, that you have to put on your head and carry it. So you want to do that or not? No, we don't want to do it. We are nice where we are. Then this verse is not for you, okay? So here the question is Aru Ruksho, the one who is very much interested, vitally interested. This is the Sannanta, Sanpratyaya. So who is vitally interested to climb up the summit. So what is the summit here? Yogam. Yogam Aru Ruksho. Yoga is the summit. The word yoga is used in so many meanings. So in multiple ways it is used. So in the case of Gita, yoga means, unless otherwise mentioned, it is jnanam. That is the yoga here. Tasmad yogi bhavarjuna. Hey Arjuna, you become a yogi, therefore. There yogi means the one who knows the truth. That is the yoga. It is not some yogasana, etc. They are good, they are useful, they are nice on the way. Suppose you do yogasanas, you will keep good health. That will help you to study well and to do sadhana, proper sadhana, and reach the summit. Therefore, They all help indirectly, but yoga in the context of Gita is communion. That is the word. The word communion is a well-known word. It is a spiritual word. So you want to commune, or you want to realize Ishvara or Brahman. You want to realize. So that happens by knowledge, because the Brahman happens to be your own innermost self. This is Gita, you know. Here the word God is not a person. He is not a person. You are a person. God is another person staying somewhere in the seventh heaven, catching cold. No, it is not like that. Here it is not so much the God as the godliness. That is the God. In India, when we go to a doctor, we say, Doctor, oh doctor, you are God, they say. Because what the doctor does, he cures the sick person. That is godliness. Not a person. That quality or ability to cure a sick man is godliness. And suppose somebody helps the other person in a very big way, then the person addresses him, you are God. Means that is the godliness. So God is everywhere. God is everything. So God is not a person. God is a quality it is. It is a principle, or it's an element which is everywhere and which is in you also. It is there in you, that God is godliness. What happens is, in the religious literature, the principle is taken to the person. The principle is converted into the person. Like the principle, good heart is there. Good heart, kind heart is a nice principle. But in the story, the kind heart is personified as a gentleman called Subuddhi. That is, there was a person called Subuddhi. You understand? Then there is a bad intentions, or wrong notions, bad intentions are there. They are also personified. And so there is another person called Durbuddhi. So like that. This is how the stories develop. And then eventually what people do, they take the stories literally. They take them literally. Instead of taking them in the sense in which they are created, namely they are allegorical stories, but the people take them literally. Therefore, this is how the God also has come. God is not a person. God is an element, a principle, or even a better word, God is the reality, that which is real, that is God. That which is real. And what you are seeing, what you are experiencing in your own experience is not real, because it is ever changing, it is not real. Therefore, that's why we say the Jagat is unreal. Unreal mane, it doesn't mean we are not experiencing it. We are talking about it only because we are experiencing it. So we are experiencing it, but the blessed thing, it slips all the time away from us. It slips, therefore it is changes, ever changeful. Therefore, there cannot be any truth in the changeful. The truth must be changeless, right? That is very common sense, you know. Suppose you said something yesterday, you say the same thing today. That is called truth. You are speaking the truth. Suppose you change what you say by the hour, then we say, he is not speaking the truth. He is telling lies. So why you say lie? Because what is the basis for concluding that somebody is lying? Because he is changing. So the version, when the version changes, it is untruth. And the version remains the same. It is the truth. Therefore, the world is ever changeful, it is. Even about COVID-19, there is no truth about it, because yesterday it was Delta variant, today it is Gamma variant, tomorrow some Alpha variant. It changes. The blessed thing changes, and soon people will forget about COVID And then after a small lull, they will get concerned about some other thing. Earlier we were concerned about typhoid, malaria, plague, etc. Now they are all gone into history. Now it is the time to get concerned about COVID. Earlier we were concerned about flu, but now flu has gone into the background, COVID has come. Therefore this thing, there is nothing like fixed about it, it is ever changing. And therefore this ever changing obviously cannot be the truth. Therefore there is something which is real, which is changeless. Is there something real, changeless? Yes. And what is the name? Let us give a name to the changeless, a name to the real. It is called Brahman. And where is this Brahman? It is in you. Oh my God, it is in me already. Yes. Not only that, you are it already. You are it already. Means the God that we are worshipping, you see, look at people, they are always worshipping God. In one form or the other. They make temples. It is not easy to make a temple, it's not easy. You have to collect a lot of money and collect so many other resources, human resources, etc. and put up a temple. And then you have to maintain it. Building a temple is less difficult than maintaining a temple. And you have to maintain it. It is a big job. Why people are doing? Because they want to worship God. And where is this God? In you. Then why temple? Because you don't know that. Hopefully you will know one day. That's why temple. Okay? Therefore that God is in you. So the God is in me that I have to realize. That is called yoga. And finally, the God, if I understand correctly about myself, if I know myself correctly, by not knowing myself correctly, by knowing myself, by taking myself wrongly, I am in the bondage of samsara. And if I know myself correctly, that is all you have to do. Knowledge. What about action? Action follows. First and foremost, knowledge. So you know yourself correctly, you are the divinity that you are worshipping all the time, all the life. You are the divinity. That is a very big thing, you know, because you go to a person who is worshipping God with a lot of fervor and tell him, the God that you are worshipping outside of you is indeed inside you. Not only that, he is indeed the real you. This is something amazing. We stopped getting amazed because we are accustomed to it. We have converted into a concept and stored here in the brain cells. Therefore, it doesn't make us wonder anymore. And that's why we have become familiar with it. We should not become familiar with it. We should constantly seek to know. Anyway, therefore the God that I am worshipping outside in the world, outside of me, is always in me, always with me, always the real me, the real myself. Then I want to know that. I want to realize that. That is the yoga. Now you know the word yoga. Okay? And this yoga, now you have to climb a summit. Let us be prepared for that. The yoga is a summit. Why summit? Because presently I am an unhappy, cringing, lost, poor soul, miserable soul. Am I not so? The way we live in this world, we are all the time struggling for something or the other, and we are more often than not, we become disappointed, distressed, disturbed, unhappy, and frustrated, depressed, whatnot. This is how we are living. And now we have to discover a state of being in which we are no different from that Godhead. That is where we have to reach. where I am and where I have to reach. It is like going up the mount of Kilimanjaro. It's a job. It's a job. And so are you up to the challenge? Suppose many people, they don't take up the challenge. They give it up. It is like CA. You know, in India, CA. There is an exam called CA. And you pass it, you become an auditor and a big career is waiting for you. But nobody passes that. Out of 100 people who attend the exam, only 2-3 people pass the exam. All others fail. They will be failing. So much so in Hyderabad, we have an association of failed CAs. We have an association. They meet occasionally and they have a newsletter also. So what are the avenues open for all the failed CA? They have failed CA means that itself is a qualification. Because they know so much about auditing and all that. They are very well trained economics and commerce people, and they can be employed too. So they say, I have appeared 2 times for CA. Okay, good, come, you join this job. Some job they will get. So they have a newsletter and all that. So they gave up I asked them, they come to my classes. I asked them, you are not planning to face it one more time? They say, either it is not allowed, maybe, or they said, now it is beyond us. Therefore they gave up and settled. Now, most of the samsaris are like that. They have now settled. They are now settled into artha and kama, pleasures, and wealth. You need wealth for pleasures. Pleasures come at a big cost. Inflation or no inflation, pleasures require a lot of wealth to support. Therefore, so people are busy with all that. Artha kama, they are settled. But then there is always a fear, a worry, and insecurity. And therefore, they worship God. Out of that state of worry and insecurity, they pray to God. All prayers, most of the prayers, not all, most of the prayers, they originate from self-pity. So that is how the prayers are. And the people hope that the God will intervene and do favor. Like in India, we have the culture of sifarish, means a recommendation. Recommendation culture is there. In this country, it doesn't work. You give a sample for nose, the test, CV, the COVID testing sample you give in CVS. I want to get some recommendation so that I get the result early. No, there is no such thing. In India, we would do it. In India, we would do it. We will give the sample in the morning and get the result by evening. We pull a few strings, we can. But here, you cannot pull any string anywhere. You go to CVS, he won't even entertain you, he will not talk with you anything. You have to just look to the sky. From the satellite, a message will come. From the satellite, it will come. That you are now passed like that. You cannot pull any strings. So, therefore, people, they want God to intervene. They want God to recommend their case in a proper way so that they will succeed. That is how all worships, all rituals, most of the worships, rituals and prayers are designed for that purpose. There is a very nice name for that. That is called dharma. Okay, very beautiful name is given. Dharma has in a different context, it is a much wider meaning and much more precious meaning. But in the present context, this is called dharma. People are settled with that. They are artha kama dharma. Very settled. Okay? You are busy making money and enjoying life with children, with wife and family and all that. And occasionally, once in a month or once in 6 months, you go to a temple or go to a guru or a religious leader and pay your reverence, do some this and that, and you have done your bit of dharma and you are settled. And there is a name for these settled people. Samsaris. These samsaris are found in good numbers in the temples. And if there is no proper police bandobast in the temples, there will be stampedes also. All samsaris stampeding, climbing upon each other in their anxiety to have a glimpse of God. So these are samsaris. We are not talking about them. Now, are you willing to come out of that mode of samsara and take up a challenge? Are you willing? That is what is, then you are a student of Gita, otherwise not. This point has to be made clear. Without making this point clear, you mix up everything. You mix up all mixed up. Suppose you go to the hospital. Suppose in an Indian context, it may be somewhat like that here also. In India, if you go to the hospital, then there are patients, the patients are relatives, people who came to see the patients, and half patients, 1/4 patients, doctors, nurses. It's a big milieu. Everybody is moving in that place. So very confusing. It should not be like that. It should be sorted out. Then an announcement comes. All those who are not patients, please walk out. Only patients should remain inside. So like that, all Arthakama people, please walk out from the class. This class is not for you. No, we want to climb the summit. You sit down, take the class now. So, Arurukshoho, Munehe. Muni is a thinking person. Are you a Mananat Munihi? Are you a thinking person? Then only you can look at these things. A thinking person. Thinking means, what is this Arthakama? What is this desire? Suppose it gets fulfilled, then what? Then one more desire will come. And therefore there is no end to this flow of desires and their fulfillment. And then you make a lot of money. At the end of it, you lose all of it. A day comes when all the known will be gone. The person dies. Death, what is the meaning of death? Death is defined as the ending of all the known. Known, what all you know. After knowing only you call it mine, this, that, like first you know and then call it mine. Therefore, what all you know, including all the mine, all the me, all of it will be gone. That is called death. Therefore, a Muni will think, so what all we are pursuing, it will be ending one day. I cannot call it my own. When it will be lost, a thing that will be lost, how can I call it my own? You cannot call it my own. Suppose you are in a flight, flight or a train, you are traveling in a train, and you are sitting in a seat, a number is given, and so this is my seat. But is it my seat? Can you call it my own? You cannot call it. Because when the train reaches the station, you have to get up and somebody else will come and occupy that seat. You cannot call it my seat. Therefore, I have a principle. When I cannot call it my seat really, then why should I call it my seat even now? Just sit there. Don't call it my seat. That is better, you know. Instead of calling my seat, and then lose it and become unhappy, you sit in it without ever calling it my seat. And that is better. So the Muni, he is thinking. So this world, this Artha, this Kama, and what are these prayers? What is these prayers? If you just pray Pahimam, Trahimam, that kind of a prayer arising out of self-pity, will it be answered? Will it be answered? Suppose it is answered, then what? Then one more desire, one more bout of self-pity, then you will have to say Trahimam, Pahimam one more time. That's why we have by-hearted all the prayers of Trahimam and Pahimam, so that wherever we remember them, we can go on saying Trahimam, Pahimam, Pahimam, Trahimam. Self-pity prayers. Therefore, what are all these prayers? What is the meaning of these prayers? Will Bhagavan intervene like that? Should he intervene like that? Should he? Or should he be like CVS? Do what you may. You will get the result when you have to get it through the satellite only, no other way. Should Bhagavan be like CVS? Or should Bhagavan be Trahimam, Trahimam? Okay, let me protect him. What about all others? Suppose somebody who has not prayed, he is not protected. And somebody who prays, he is protected. Is that right? All these questions are there. Muni. And therefore, the thinking person soon gets disenchanted with the dharma, artha, kama. And now he wants to climb up the summit of yoga. So I have come to that point. Arurukshoho munehe. Yogam arurukshoho munehe. The one, the thinking person, who is ready to take up the challenge of climbing up the summit. Now, what should he do? Karma karanam uchyate. Karma is not action, karma is karma yoga. Please come. Karma is karma yoga. In the verse, shamaha karanam uchyate. Shama is dhyana yoga. That is the word shamaha. So, therefore, there are two yogas here. One is karma yoga, another is dhyana yoga. Okay? So, and now, here is the person, he is a thinking person, and he wants to climb up this summit of yoga. Yoga is self-realization, take it like that. Or God realization, you can say that also. Same, one and the same. Interestingly, self-realization and God realization is one and the same. You have to know that God is realized in one and only one way, and that is as the innermost self. There is no other way. It is something like you can get happiness in only one way, and that is as the innermost experience. Or can you get happiness in any other way? No. You can get experience. You can get a happiness. People are all seeking happiness. You can get that happiness in one and only one way, and that is as the innermost experience. You cannot get happiness like some cream applied to the face, or some marks put on the face, or some new hairstyle. Can you get that happiness like that? Go to a barber shop and get a good hairstyle and come out, now happiness is on my head. Is there any such thing? Happiness only one way you can get. That is as the innermost experience. Similarly, God can be realized in one and only one way. That is the innermost self. Therefore, God realization and self-realization are one and the same. The same name for the same one thing called two different ways. Same name it is. Therefore, that is the summit of God realization. There is another name, another way also it is said, the summit of God consciousness. Do you hear that word? The summit of God consciousness. You are conscious of God in all. In other words, you are conscious of your own innermost self in all. That is the summit of God consciousness. And I want to reach that. Why not just stay with the dharma, artha, kama? No, Muni is a thinking person. So I want to reach the summit of God consciousness. Then what is the means that I should pursue? First, karma yoga. Then, is that all? No. Then comes dhyana yoga. Now, don't you be disturbed by too many yoga shabdas, okay? I am just looking at Bhashya. Dhyana yogasya karma yogo bahirangam sadhanam. Bhashya. So, you can graduate into dhyana yoga only when you are a student of karma yoga. It is like there is in college, etc., there is a kind of a graduation ceremony. And unless you graduate, say BS or whatever, here they have a scheme, so BS, bachelor. And you graduated from BS, then only you will be eligible to enter into the portals of MS. Right? The same way, you have to graduate in Karma Yoga. Then you will be able to enter into the realm of Dhyana Yoga. And that Dhyana Yoga is the one which takes you to God consciousness. That is the second line, okay? So Shamaha. Shamaha, another word, another meaning for the word Shamaha is Dhyana Yoga. So you may say, why not we start Dhyana Yoga right away? There are many meditation centers everywhere. Meditation courses are there. Why not start Dhyana Yoga right away? Why not? So, this is a tricky issue. You see, you look at your mind. You look at your mind. Has a thought become compulsive to you or not? Compulsive thinking means you entertain or you nurse a strong feeling of grudge, say, against somebody. And on and off, you recollect that somebody, you recollect that grudge, you feel your mind becomes fixated on that feeling, and you get that feeling again and again and become sad or unhappy or even worried. So this is called compulsive thinking. Are you having that problem? Suppose you have the problem of compulsive thinking, just simply declaring to yourself that I will go to the summit of Dhyana Yoga and stay there doesn't work, because the summit of Dhyana Yoga, so Arudha, unless you just the desire is not enough, you have to climb up this summit and reach there. Then Dhyana Yoga for you. You are now still at the bottom of the summit. So how can you say, I will practice Dhyana Yoga? It will not work. Meditation, I will go to a meditation center. And so meditation centers will have a scheme, morning half an hour or something like that. They take a fee and they teach one or two small things. Dhyana Yoga. That is not, that way it doesn't work. When your mind is so confused and it is full of wrong notions and full of concepts and images, and you see what people have is, they have an enormous collection of words, all words, enormous collection of words, a bundle of words they have. That is all they have. They don't have truth. Word is not the truth. And they start believing that word is the truth. So the one who believes the word is the truth ends up believing that scholarship is self-realization. Scholarship is not self-realization. Scholarship is only words. Therefore, these problems are there. And so you have to first address these problems. Then also I will ask another question. Are you grappling with some problems? Because people love problems. They like to assume that they have problems. Like children, you know, children at the age of 3 or 4 or 5, they say, Mom, today I am having fever. Then suddenly, the mom will stop everything else and put all her focus upon this child. And household members also show a lot of sympathy, and everybody, till then nobody looks at this child. Child is struggling with its own toys, nobody looks at the child. And therefore, when the child becomes sick, God forbid, but when the child becomes sick, the entire household focus is on the child. And the child, it shines and shines in all glory in this enormous sympathy and love and focus of all the family members. And therefore, they give some medicine, etc. The child becomes all right. And then slowly, in the consciousness of the child, there is a desire to become sick one more time. And I have noticed this, I don't know whether you noticed, I have noticed this, children, they love Band-Aids. The Band-Aids come with different designs. In one design, duck or something is there, and Harry Potter Band-Aid, all those Band-Aids. And therefore the child is looking, do I have any injury? No injury. No, here is an injury. Mom, I have an injury here. And therefore mom will have an entire bundle of these sticks. And you see, the child came running to me, very, very cunning and clever. Swamiji, I have this Band-Aid. Then immediately I keep a few Band-Aids and take out and give it. And the moment I put it, she goes there and pulls it out and throws it out. And again comes back, where is the Band-Aid? You should not pull out the Band-Aid like that. So, this is the child psychology, and the elders are no different. Elders have all kinds of problems. I have this problem, I have a problem with my husband. What is the problem with the husband? Poor guy. No, he said that, okay, forget about it. So I have a problem with my children. Like that we imagine all kinds of problems. I tell you, if you don't mind my comparison, it is like, now I am getting doubt. Can I say the only simile it is only simile. Upamana, only that much. The dogs, ready for the upamana? The dogs love to chew on dry bones. The dog loves it. Once I went to the aisle, Walmart, and there are all dog bones. Bones for a dog. What are all these bones? Then somebody says, Swamiji, they are not real bones, they are plastic bones. Why anybody wants plastic bone? The dog wants plastic bone. And therefore you purchase a bone from the Walmart and give it to the dog. It will be chewing it. Similarly, we want to chew on problems. Oh, that person is a problem. This is a problem. He said that is a problem. She did not do it, that is a problem. So all kinds of problems. So, is your mind like that? Then it is not suitable for dhyana yoga. So now what should we do? Practice karma yoga for some time. Here we say like that, karma yoga is bahiranga, dhyana yoga is antaranga. Karma yoga is outer, dhyana yoga is inner. To go into the inner, you have to graduate in the outer. So now you have to create a mindset which can be called the karma yoga. That is the mindset. Now, you see, this topic could be confusing. The topic by nature it is like that. So what I am struggling is to make a meaningful output at the end of 2 classes so that there can be a concerted message. A unified message can come. That is the idea. Therefore, with this kind of a mind, that is about mind, then I will ask about the lifestyle also. So in life, are you struggling to fulfill desires? People do that. People have all kinds of desires and they are struggling with the desires. They struggle. You know, people can be very, very foolish and very wrong in their thinking. It is something like a billionaire is there, a millionaire is there, and now he made the million by dint of hard work. He made it. He was an entrepreneur. He made $1 million. Now he has a son or 2 sons or 3 sons, whatever, children, and he wants his son to become a millionaire. But he doesn't want to become. The son doesn't want to become. Therefore, so the father wants the son to become a doctor, but the son doesn't want to become. He wants to become a TV anchor or something like that. So something like that. So he doesn't want to become a doctor or an engineer. And therefore, such desires, these are the desires which people have. And to fulfill those desires, they struggle. They will be struggling and they are conflicted. And people around them in the family, they also get conflicted. Therefore, multiple conflicts are going on in a person's life. And then the person wants to become other than what he already is. It can apply to Swamis also, need not be family people only all the time. The Swami wants to become something more than what he already is. Not in terms of self-knowledge and all that, but some positions are there. These ashrams also have positions. And so he wants to become a guru. This is the standard example where Sri Ramakrishna asked a student. People cannot believe it that this kind of an episode happened. A student approached him, what are you doing? I want to study Vedanta. Then Sri Ramakrishna asked him, you want to study Vedanta for what? Then he gave two options. Why are you asking like that? Because he doesn't know why he wants to study Vedanta. Then the Mahatma said, you want to become a teacher or you want to know the self? Then he doesn't know even that also. He just wants to study Vedanta only. He doesn't know more than that. I told this story. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, if you become a teacher, the whole society will respect you, they will give you gifts and you will have a very good name in the society, you will be a celebrity. Okay, that sounds very nice. What about the other? If you know the self, you will remain alone and you will be in uninterrupted happiness, but nobody will know you. You will be in a corner. Then he thought about it. I will become a teacher only. That is what he said. Therefore, even among the students of Vedanta, even among the Swamis and Sannyasis, they want to become something other than what they already are. This is called the process of becoming. Now you look at yourself. Are you caught in the process of becoming? Then you are not ready for Dhyana Yoga. You can only be a candidate for Karma Yoga. Because in the process of becoming, there is a struggle. And as long as the struggle is going on, you are struggling. Going on, you will not be able to sit and meditate. Suppose you get up in the morning and you want to do meditation. Suddenly you get a phone call and somebody says something and you are disturbed. Now you can put aside the phone call and finish the phone call, put the phone aside and go and sit meditation. Can you do? You cannot do. You cannot sit in meditation. Which is easy, to run 1 mile and come back, to go to the stop sign at the end of Foul Stick Road. Run up to that and come back by running. Or sit and do meditation for 15 minutes. Which is more difficult? Meditation is more difficult. Therefore, when people are caught in conflicts and struggles, you look at the life, life is a constant struggle from birth to death. It is a process of struggle. So the everyday existence has become a struggle, a constant battle with oneself. Battle with oneself only. You are a struggle. You are boxing in yourself. So this is the way the life that we know. The life that we know is an endless process of becoming. Artha, becoming. A millionaire one has to become a billionaire. Kama, one pleasure, another pleasure, another pleasure. In tourism, there is a book, 100 places of tourist interest. And that is the book. And you purchase that book. Keep there. And daily look at it. Whenever you look at it. How many places I have seen? 7 I have seen. Another 93 yet to be seen. And then go to one place in the holidays and come back and tick mark one more. 8 ho gaya. Now 92 I have to see. This is how life has become an endless process of becoming. That book will be there and the person will get age and he will die, but that book will never be complete. The tourism industry people create such things and we fall into that trap. All places are same. Everything is Panchabhuta, nothing else. This tourism is a big mithya, it is. All are Panchabhutas. Wherever you go, Panchabhutas. So, therefore, endless process of becoming, moving from what is to what is not. If you are caught in that kind of lifestyle, what you need is not dhyana yoga. What you need is karma yoga. So you see, you have to understand, the Muni, you have to understand, the action of becoming is fundamentally flawed. The action of becoming is fundamentally flawed. Here Shankara says so many things here. So when the person is unable to give up the desire for the result thereof, he is engaged in action, but he readily gives up the desire to the result thereof. Only such a person who can be called a karma yogi will be eligible to the next level of dhyana yoga. Okay? Therefore, if you are a student, if you are ready to take up this challenge, therefore that means you understand that there is no virtue in becoming. There is virtue in being only. There is virtue in being, no struggle in being. Whereas in becoming, there is always a struggle. You want to become this or that, whatever. This becoming, it applies across the board. To dharma it applies, to artha it applies, to kama it applies. A bachelor wants to become a married person. And a married person wants to become father, mother. And father, mother want to become a proud father, proud mother. What is this proud, etc., comparing with others? Comparing our children with others' children. Then the struggle begins. Enormous struggle. The life will be going on. This problem is there with the Swamis and Sannyasis also. It is there with the students of Vedanta also. Because all the study, most of it is very conceptual in nature. Just collecting a variety of words, that is how it becomes. Therefore, the struggle continues. And there is no virtue in struggle. Suppose a Swami is struggling. I have to do this much japam and struggling. There is no virtue in it. Even there is no virtue in it. In becoming, there is no virtue. There is virtue only in being. Find out what you are and just be what you are. There is virtue in it. And the person should know that. So that means what should he do? He should give up all action. That question comes. Should he give up all the action? No, it is not about giving up all the action. That option is not there. There will be action. Whether you like it or not, there will be action. As long as you live, there will be action. Therefore, it is not about giving up action, because it is not an option. Okay, you give up breathing in and breathing out. Can you? You cannot. Similarly, I will give up action. No, you cannot. It is not about giving up action. Then giving up what? Something has to be given up. It is about tyaga. You have to give up something. You cannot hold on to everything. That is the samsari. The samsari wants to hold on to everything. He wants to hold on to artha, he wants to hold on to kama, and then he wants to hold on to dharma. He wants to hold on to all kinds of gods and goddesses, all kinds of rituals and prayers in the name of dharma, because he wants to hold on to artha and kama. He wants to hold on to everything. He cannot give up artha and kama for one reason. He cannot give up his rituals and prayers for another reason. For the reason of fear, he cannot give up. For the reason of desire, he cannot give up. They are not willing to give up anything. In fact, it is about collecting. It is about grabbing. The way Artha and Kama are pursued, Artha, Kama, how are they pursued? To grab, to collect. And how is Dharma pursued? Religion. How is it pursued? To grab. To grab more and more. You have to see it to believe it. You see, 100 people want to see God. I want to see more than the person ahead of me. So push him. And push, push, push. And the first row people will be crushed, stampeded. Therefore, you collect. You want to see more of the God you want to see. More of the virtue you want to get. This is how people live, even in the context of dharma. Therefore, it is not an exception. That's why dharma, artha, kama are bundled together. They are not separated. So they are not an exception. This is the guy. And how can he go to the summit of dhyana? He cannot. Therefore, what they do? There are some meditation centers, and they go there and join there. And they will give a formula. They don't say formula. They give a name to it. Very nice sounding Sanskrit name they give to it. Yeah, that is what it is. They call it mantra. They call it. And give a number also, so that the person will go away for some time, certain length of time. Give him some lengthy mantra, all made up mantras. Some basic things are there, Om Namo Bhagavate, that kind of some basic things are there, and you add a few things. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Krishnaya Gopijana Vallabhaya Santana Sampadatre, etc., etc., Namaswaha, chant this mantra. How much? 10 lakhs you chant. The person will go away for 6 years, he won't appear again. So, then there are some mantras which are too small in nature. Give a mantra, and then, so they will be chanting. And then another kind of meditation. The chakra meditation, chakras going up and all that. That is another meditation. Like this, people, instead of looking at their life, look at your life. See what kind of struggle you are undergoing. See, examine your pursuits. Examine your artha, kama and dharma. All the 3 levels you examine. The religion that you are following, you examine it. The worldly activity that you are engaged in, you examine it. Can you make all these actions motiveless? Means you act without a desire. Can you do that? Without a desire for the result thereof. Means, you see, the karma yoga, I am trying to define the karma yoga. The essence of the karma yoga is the actions in the lives of human beings are entirely impelled or motivated by 2 things: self-interest and self-concern. These 2 things. Now, can you give up self-interest and self-concern and perform an action? Do that. Shankara writes very interesting things here. What he says is, your desire for the result is the basic reason for the compulsive thinking. It is the basic reason for your mind becoming so much agitated and restless. In life you have so much struggle only because your actions are entirely motivated by self-interest and self-concern. Now, can you make your life of actions, the life of activity, the entire field of activity, can you make it free from self-interest and self-concern? Can you do that? If you do that, you are the karma yogi, and once you succeed in that, you graduate there, then you become eligible for dhyana yoga. You got the point? I will come back. Om Purnamada Purnamada